So, my appointment's in 15 minutes and I'm not even anywhere near that part of town. My car wouldn't start this morning. I'm having to take Justin's truck and the traffic is horrible. Horrible. And yeah, so I'm really frustrated. I can't get a hold of anyone when I call this to at least like tell them I'm going to be 15 or 20 minutes late. They don't answer the phone. Like, I'm so annoyed right now. My day is not starting off good. I'm like panicking because I cannot stand being late. And I have this stupid pee and I don't want to have to go like to another appointment. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm so mad. I'm so sick of my car. Like, I regret buying a used car so much. Like, it wasn't certified and maybe that was my mistake, but this car is like, Justin was like, oh no, it's this, don't worry about it, it's just this key thing I need to fix. But he at first thought that it was battery, then he's like, no, it's not the battery. And this morning the battery's dead, and by the time we came outside, he's like, oh, I need to jump it. I'm like, I don't have time to jump it. So now I'm in his truck, sitting in traffic. I don't know, I just need to vent to you guys. I'm like, gonna be late for my appointment. I know it. I just don't know if they're gonna turn me away now, and I'm gonna have to reschedule, and that's gonna piss me off. So, yeah, sitting here with my piss in traffic. I don't know. It's like panicking me though. And my car has a beltway thing, which is like the toll road thing, and his car doesn't. And yeah. So I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get on the beltway to save time, because our freeways have shut down a bunch of ramps. So this is just not my day. Justin's like, just get on the beltway and run it and I'll pay the fine. In other parts of Texas, you can get on the beltway and they just send you the bill for it, like the $1.50 bill. In Houston, they send you like a $20 fine. So I'm like, no, my luck too. I'll get on there, I'll run it, and a cop will see me and I'll get pulled over and get a ticket on top of the day I'm already having. I'm gonna try to call the doctors again. Hopefully they answer. If I could just get a hold of them and they could be like, it's okay, then I would calm the fuck down. But I can't even get a hold of someone. And I don't understand why traffic is so bad. Okay, so I am home and it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I left the doctor's at like 11:30 though. I wasn't there. My appointment was originally at 9, but I was late. And so they had to, like, they didn't drop my appointment though. They just let people go ahead of me that were there already. To keep it moving. So I mean, that's on me. I was in full-blown panic attack this morning. Like, I have terrible anxiety and sometimes I get panic attacks, but like, I can't stand being late. And what annoys me so much is when people tell you to calm down and you have anxiety, because it's like, it doesn't work like that. Anyway, so Jackson's ultrasound looked good. His little face profile, it was kind of blurry, but I'll insert a picture now. He's good. My blood pressure's amazing, she said still, even though she thought it would start going up soon. It hasn't. Oh, what else? So mostly this appointment, I'm doing my glucose test in the beginning of March too. That's another thing. Mostly this appointment was about my fibromyalgia, because it's been like so bad. I've been using my cane for several days. You know, like I've said before, I don't always go into detail about it or complain in my vlog. You guys see like 12 minutes of my day, you know. But there have been days where I just sit there and cry, or I cry in the shower, and it's just like, ugh. Last night I started feeling so much pain, like after I stopped vlogging. I was in the shower just crying, and Justin's like, you need to talk to the doctor about like your pain. So I talked to her. She knows a lot about fibro, more so than I would expect for an OBGYN. Ralphie, no. He's rubbing his, you need a napkin, dude. He's rubbing his food lips all over me. That's what he does to us. He comes and uses us as napkins with his like slobber and food. So I started crying in my appointment because I was telling her what's been going on and how much pain I was in and stuff. And it's just frustrating because there's really not anything I can do. I don't like, you know, and she gave me a medication that won't hurt Jackson, and doesn't really, she said it doesn't really affect him. The only thing that could happen is if I was like an addict and I took it every day and overdosed on it, like constantly, then when he was born, he could have like withdrawals from it because it has a small amount of codeine in it. But it's not an everyday medicine. She wants me to take it for days I can't like barely walk because she wants me to still be moving so that I don't get blood clots and stuff like that. And also she knows that when you're too sedentary with fibro, that can make it worse too. But she also doesn't want me falling. She's concerned about that because of my leg issues and my bursitis and stuff. And there's nothing they can really give me for the bursitis because you can't have things like high dose ibuprofen or just even ibuprofen when you're pregnant. So she's hoping that that will lower the pain just a little bit to make it bearable to keep moving and stuff, you know, and so that I won't fall because she's really worried about that. So, and she also said, like, if you're in prolonged pain, and, you know, it's one thing to just suck it up and deal with pain when I'm not pregnant. When I am, even though I might not feel stressed, it triggers a stress response in my body, and that can affect Jackson, which I didn't think me being in pain could, but I guess it makes sense, like, being prolonged pain could affect him negatively, even like severe pain causing like early labor in the 3rd trimester. So we talked a lot about that because at first I was like, I don't want to take anything. I started crying because I was like, I just want to I'd rather just deal with it. It scares me to take anything. And she assured me it was like perfectly safe. And then she told me that she had one patient that had something wrong with her liver during pregnancy, and she had to get morphine drips because of the pain, because it was causing her to go into labor early from the pain being so intense. And she said that her baby was born perfectly fine and she was taking it daily, like a morphine drip. So it made me feel a lot better. It's basically Tylenol 3 with like Tylenol with some codeine in it. I don't know. So I can't, they did say like once, you know, Ralph, please go sit down. Once he gets here, you can't take that because it does secrete into breast milk. Whereas when it's like, when you're pregnant, it doesn't necessarily, I don't know. They explained it and I felt better about it, but it's only like a, today is a day I can't walk kind of day medicine, but I still at the same time feel like, ugh, about it. But I see what she means. Like, you know, if I fell, that could be dangerous. If, you know, I'm in so much pain and I go into labor, that's not good. Just, I don't know. So also she is going to have a, she just treats high risk, but she's going to have a high risk, like, kind of like, I don't know, like a super spy, I don't know, like, he's like a specialist that doesn't deal with like, oh, I'm high risk for these reasons. He deals with people that have like chronic conditions and are high risk, such as like a pain condition. And he's a lot more, I guess, knowledgeable and probably has more ideas of like what we can do for my pain. He's like, I don't know, because she's like high risk doctor too, but I guess that's more his kind of area. People like me that have like chronic pain conditions and stuff like that. So I'm gonna, she's gonna get a reference in so that I can have a consultation with him and get his opinion on it too, because she's just really worried about what it's gonna do, like prolonged severe pain to me and Jackson. So that was kind of like meh. I mean, I feel better because they talked about it, and you know, I know now, like, I have this medicine for a really awful day. And I'm going to go see somebody that is like a specialist in this kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm just like, I hate that I have to go through this for Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad that I might have to take this medicine instead of just, you know, being like a normal pregnant person. So I know I can't control it. It's, you know, it's nothing, I can't control having fibromyalgia, but yeah, so that's kind of how my appointment went. It's been like a hell of a day. I was freaking out at the doctors, and I was like, oh my God, thinking that we're going to need a new car because like there's something in the steering column that's wrong, and we need a new battery, I think. That's why it wouldn't start, because the steering column thing is just a loose wire. Justin can fix it. He just hasn't yet. But then this morning, like, we weren't sure, but we thought it was a battery thing, and I'm over here panicking. I'm like, we're about to have this tiny human, and I don't want to be driving around and have the car break down on me. I was freaking out. So I made a last payment on something I owed the doctor's office, and they were like, oh, you paid too much. Here's $100 back. And I was like, what? And I was like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, you paid too much on your labor and delivery. You keep 100 or whatever. Like, you don't, here's like 100, you know, this is paid, whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe God's telling me to calm my tits and just buy a new battery for the car. And it's not that serious, because I really don't want to buy a new car. I don't want, like, you know, like, will I ever buy used again? No. Not unless I'm paying for it full out in cash. But do I want to get a new car? No, I don't. I want to pay this car off and not have a car note, because once a car is paid off, then you just need to not act like, oh, I have this extra money to spend. It needs to build like a car maintenance fund, you know? And you just keep that in your budget like you're making car payments, but really you're building a really big car maintenance budget. So yeah, I calmed down. That happened where they gave me the $100 back, and I was like, maybe this is a sign. And then I got in the car, and because Justin's truck radio, before he bought it, it's like been passed around people at his job. And like they'll sell it for $1,000, someone will buy it. So he's had it now for like 4 years. It's been a good truck. It's just like, I wouldn't drive an hour away in the truck, you know, but you know what I'm saying. But the person that had it last got the radio stolen out of it, and we don't care. Like, we use my car most of the time, so we didn't put a new radio in. So I had Pandora on my phone, and that Kansas song, Carry On My Wayward Son, which, like, automatically, I've loved that song since I was little. My mom listened to Kansas and all that kind of music most of my childhood. So I've liked that song for a long time. But two, it's on Supernatural. But it was just like, ugh, okay, I needed this song right now. It made me feel a lot better. But this was a very chatty kind of day, and I'm honestly like physically exhausted from like having the panic attack and like everything that's happened today. And like, I'm just like, oh, and they took a lot of blood today, and I'm just like so exhausted. So I kind of thought I would do a one take, let you guys know what's happening, how my appointment went. Jackson is great. He looks good. Everything's good. I lost a little more weight, and she's kind of worrying, like, maybe that's like the stress of being in pain, not necessarily just, like, they told me they want me to gain like about 15 pounds or I can gain none. But to be like losing weight at this point, I think it just made her a little worried. It was kind of like the pain and the stress on my body and stuff. So they're just, yeah, it's just like a lot of stuff we have to watch. But Jackson's okay. That's all that matters. His ultrasound is great. He's developing great. All my blood pressure and everything's great. We just kind of like taking this time as like a preventative measure of starting to figure out something to help with the pain so it doesn't get to the point where it's affecting him. I hope that makes sense. But just wanted to give you guys that update. And yeah, I don't know. I've been talking for 12 minutes. I don't know how much I talked earlier, but I'm just going to end the vlog for today because I'm like so exhausted. And I don't feel enough pain to take the medicine or anything right now, but I feel like I need to lay down and chill most of the day probably. So anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.